Hello, 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 friends. Nicholas here with DIVO TED Talks, Devoted Talks, where we take ancient wisdom and practices through a modern lens and experience to help you and those you love in suffering in their personal and greater worlds. I hit record knowing what I was going to say, and then it just all evaporated. But I think that's par for the course, right? These channelings essentially are whatever's needed in the moment. I try to clear myself so that I can be a clear channel, a clear voice towards things that need to be heard in the world. And even though I may not ever know who it was meant for or who received it, it doesn't make it any less appropriate, any less valuable. And it's the same for you, right? Sometimes you do things and you don't know why you're doing it. You don't really have an explanation and it just feels right. And that is what I'm talking about, right? Following what feels right. It's intuition. It is something that is leading you, albeit perhaps invisibly, towards greater good and greater expressions and serving your gifts. And, I've talked about it before, but I like to come back to it periodically. The fact that humility isn't this vain or fake diminishment of your gifts and skill sets. Oh, it's not that big a deal. It is a big deal. Your gifts are amazing, and what you do in the world is amazing, and it is a beautiful thing, and the world is supposed to have it, and you should honor and love those things about yourself. But what you would be not wrong, I don't want to say wrong, but like one of the things that would be really antagonistic to that idea is thinking that your gift is any more special than anybody else's. And so the true humility is loving your gift and sharing your gift lovingly and without, seeking favor or friend, but truly just for the sake of giving it. But that you recognize other people's gifts too, not in a, oh, I must obsessively virtue signal to show that I appreciate you, but a true, authentic, your gift is great, my gift is great, our gifts together are even better, or whatever. I mean, you could formulate it any way you want to. But I think we're in a world today where there's people who are constantly trying to fight to be special or constantly trying to fight to be more than they are, or they try to feign um, this faux humility, which is just saying, "Oh, it's nothing. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that." And it's like, no, if you did an amazing feat, you did an amazing feat, and you should say that. Sometimes as a society, we don't really know how to receive compliments, nor do we know how to give them well, right? Sometimes people are better at it than others. But like, what if we could all acknowledge the things that we like? Like I saw a woman in the store the other day and her hair was this neon colored orange. It was actually like my studio colors. And I was like, I like your hair, right? Think of how many times people are out there and they're worried about saying that, or what if she takes offense? And it's like, I don't really care because I felt like I wanted to say that. And I like when people tell me the things they like about me, right? Like I don't expect a compliment in return. I often get one because of my beard, but that's not why I say what I say. I say what I say because it's the truth in the moment. And therein lies some of that idea of that humility. Like you don't have to fight to be special. All of us are special. Now, I don't think that we all live in that way, and I don't think we all view it that way, nor does it translate or come out in that way. But it would be a beautiful thing if it did, or we worked there and got to that. So, what am I trying to say here? Yoga and Ayurveda, is clear about how attachment in its many ways leads to disease. True humility would not being attached to superior or inferiority, but rather it would be this healthy relationship to I like the things I like, I'm good at what I'm good at, but I can also recognize what other people like and what they're good at and honor that too. I can hold space for all of us, not this I am the supreme and you should bow to mine or whatever. I mean, religions in some regards are like this, but even certain ways of thinking are that way, right? You're in the in group or you're out group, and there's no other alternatives, and there's no budging, there's no leniency on whether you adhere completely or not, or whether you're in or out, right? There's a lot of dysfunction that has been facilitated through these things. And so true humility is being able to be gifted and do great things in the world, but also acknowledge other people's great things, not because you have to, but because you can see it, because you understand the truth in that statement and the truth in that idea and the reality of it, right? Like, I never thought, because I was really good at taking biology information from a book and from classes and keeping it in my mind, was any better than people who could do that with sports. I was always fascinated with people who could tell me about the 1976 game where da 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 happened. That's the same level of intelligence that I had to be able to recall and do stuff with biology. And I didn't see it as different, and I never have. But people would call me smart, and the person who can do that in many cases would not be smart. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I am tied to the books. But I could never tell you all those details about the sports, but I wouldn't care to either. But in our society's consistently pushing that particular person to get in the books rather than their gift. If anything has come of that in the current era, is that people who have followed their dream, there is a space for people to do these things, especially after the age of reality television. People who wanted to gossip about other people's lives were able to do that professionally and make money doing it. So I hope that helps contextualize what I'm talking about. Humility isn't feigned inferiority. Humility is not finding yourself to be better than, superior, or to diminish anybody else because they aren't you or what you value. And I think that's something that we're lacking in this world today. A lot of people think that their values and the way they were raised are far superior than other people, and especially culturally. Like, I live in America, which I've talked about before, but like, the way that people look at other people's culture and like judge it. Like, who are you to judge? If you had been raised in an area that ate chicken feet as a meal, it wouldn't be weird to you. But the only reason it is because you were raised on steak and potatoes and we didn't eat chicken feet. But it also kind of makes sense. Why wouldn't you eat all of the animal and put it to good use instead of wasting it to rot? I mean, I can understand that. I don't know that I want to eat chicken feet, but you know, that's a personal preference. And I'm sure there's people in those countries where it isn't strange to have that happen that prefer one thing or another as well. So, that being said, I don't think any different of a culture that eats things like that, right? Like, it's absurd when people are like, well, I like this about your culture, right? Especially now. Like, my favorite was hearing about ICE officers going and eating at a Mexican restaurant, taking advantage of their food, eating the cultural, and then sending people in to go ICE raid the place that they just were at. Now, granted, I don't know the legality or the status of these people, but it seems kind of odd that you're going to leverage something culturally that you enjoy from a different culture as your means to do this enforcement that you're doing. It just seems kind of odd to me. I mean, it's this juxtaposition. I want all of the things that are good from you, and then I want to get rid of all the things I don't like about you so I can have what I want, and then I can eat it too. I am not a big fan of that mentality. Um, and, for not getting into deeper conversations about that, we can have conversations about legality, and we can have conversations about what we each individually view as appropriate means of enforcement. But that doesn't change that these are human beings, period. human beings. That's another thing. Humility is understanding that you are no more human than any other human on this planet, and therefore you don't deserve anything more special than they do. But there's a lot of people on this planet that don't, and they try to pretend to be humble, when in reality we know that they're not. I could go on and on and on. But for sake of being well and being free, I will stop there. Much love.